Well, Bpro upset Sprout on their map pick, and well, moving on to the second, this is where Sprout are feeling comfortable. This is where Sprouts should be the victors of it, but Bpro, will they carry the upset through? It's unlikely, but it would be kind of exciting to see. Yeah,
no, we're definitely going to give them a chance, right? Just off the back of how well they played individually, the fact that outside of the one little snafu they had with the over-rotation on the CT side, there wasn't really too much to complain about in terms of how they went about it as a team.
Yeah.
And that bodes well going into Nuke. Obviously, it comes down to how well they're going to be able to maintain the kind of communication with rotations, etc., on the CT side, and how well they've practiced their setups and executes over on the T side. But for now, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because I was kind of writing them off even before we got into the first map, and they definitely proved us wrong. So I'm happy to be surprised again.
Yeah, the first map was very, very fast, I have to say, on that T side. Bpro was rapid on their T side. I don't really know if you could do that on Nuke to the same level.
I mean, we've seen something earlier in the previous Invitationals where that is the case. Obviously, that was Liquid displaying the fast pace on the T side, which is a little bit different. One of the best Nuke teams in the world. But they definitely have the potential to, basically get towards Yard early, either set it for inner pushes or go that quick route where you basically jump on top of silo, drop down a main, swing in through that a whole lot of the time. And they're going to start on the T side, so we get to see actually if there's going to be tempo around it.
Well, there's going to be a fast play in towards the radio room, towards ramp, and Murbit is going to be forced away. It's going to be Searson trying to take the fight with the USP, and actually Bpro have done a complete backward track in towards the A-bomb side, but Kito's ready for it. He's got the headshot, Faven's on one as well, but it's trades back and forth, and Searson will connect from up above in heaven. Man advantage is still with Sprout, but Bpro still standing in the vent. Awkward engagement, but Raftu comes out on top, and Spitty nearly gets the trade, but it's not enough. Two players slithering away in towards the B-bomb site. They're trying to get that plant as Zix attempts to hold them off in the vent room. The door's swung wide open. Zix goes back up towards control room, and being so low on health, he has to get into a good position. He's done that well. They have no idea. It's here. He's played this amazingly. There's the first headshot. Can he find the follow-up? Running out of ammo. Searson still finds it. And well, if you're Zix, you've got to kick yourself. That was an easy kill. He was reloading, and Searson still does it and takes the headshot.
Of all the duels to lose out on, with what we've seen now to 6, that was not one you'd expect them to lose out on. Oof. And that could have been so good, but I mean, if you want to look at something, I guess, positive about it, Bpro, high tempo.
Yeah, we've got that for sure. And actually, a quick reaction as well during the round as well, because their initial idea was to go towards ramp, and then they came back and instantly blown up the door, down the vent, and then towards the B-bomb side.
Yeah. If they're going to maintain that, Sprout might be in for a bit of a rough time. We'll see, though. Two alligators brought out with the auto shotguns on Kito and Mirbit. Stanislav being real quick about it here. Make it out, find Spitty, but now the auto shotgun comes into play. Still, though, favorable trades for the Bulgarian time. 2v4, and retaking with an auto shotty is not that easy. Searson going with the op immediately as well. He doesn't really have too much to play off of. Oh, Rocky, did you not? Okay, you definitely not spotted Mirbit, but I was about to say, Searson saw something on his radar. Already gives up the J that they're saving. They also have an op as well. I love this from Bpro, though. It's so fast, and Sprout barely have time to get into position before they're overran.
That's always the problem when you have such a close pistol. You can, on the T side, you can get actually pretty decent weapons through. You get the AK, you get like a Leo in a Mac 10, and you can go for this fast approach coming right through.
Oh, look at that as well. It's a pretty significant ping difference too. So they're fighting uphill in every which manner. But
so the underdogs, they've had to qualify through the open qualifier.
They have worse ping.
Yeah, they're going up it, and they've just got to prove everyone wrong, and they're doing that pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fun to see. Now we'll see if they maintain the aggression, though they know that there's an op in play, because Searson picked up one frag at the very least. They're not too sure about what maybe it might have had going into it further. It's actually rebought into FAMAS. In we go again. This time it's a bit of a stack on the inner bomb side. They're still getting the trades they want, though. Yeah, exactly. That's an accurate reaction. So quick, so fast, and they're still able to maintain clarity of the situation. It's Mirbit down. All by his lonesome. Doesn't have a defuse kit either.
It's almost like they're so explosive. It's going to be difficult for Sprout to even source the problem, right?
Yeah, and this is one of the things where if you want to look at a team that's playing at a little bit of a higher level than Bpro are at the current time, but Furia, right? One of the reasons why they were so successful is because they play so quick and so chaotic that people don't know what to expect. They don't know how to adjust for it. And if you can do that consistently, then, well, you stand to win a lot of Counter-Strike games. Again, it's very unlikely that Sprout are going to have had the opportunity to look too much into what Bpro have been doing on their previous maps, especially on Nuke, for example, because there's so limited amount of data on them. This is a golden opportunity for Bpro to really give it to Sprout. So they kept up the tempo for the rebuy-in on the side of Sprout. Got to blow up the door again, but it's Ramp. That's going to be the name of the game this time. Mirbet alone. He's got a Zeus. Might get one, but that's going to be all she wrote. I do like the fact that Sprout bring out the Zeus fairly often on these kind of rounds. It's such a minimal investment. It's $200. Even though you don't get a kill reward, it becomes really expensive for this, well, whoever dies.
Yeah, and you could also, it's very quick to pick up the rifle as well.
Yeah.
We've seen 2 already in the series. Utrecht's holding off the rest of the Sprout players running in towards him. He gets 2, but Seriously will eventually fall himself. 3-1, 3 in a row for Bpro. They lose the pistol just barely, but after that, it's been the Bpro show. So they got off to a good start on Trin, and they ended up winning that. If they got off to a pretty good start here on Nuke as well, if they win this first gun run, then that's when we really start to think there's a chance that they might actually be able to take this.
Yeah. I will say, though, I've started getting less excited about having a lot of T rounds happening early on for size, mainly because it seems like every team in the world that plays Nuke have become a pretty proficient T side to the point where CTs is actually the harder place to get a win streak going. Oh, there we go. The quick play again, dropping down onto main speed. He's completely unaware of it. Searson not going to be there in time, and meanwhile, Keto's fallen. Now it's just chaos all around. 6, is he going to make it in? He does. So now, see if he can actually work further off of this. The rest of his team have been able to do a fair bit. Oh, the balls on 6. Why not? Searson down to the knife of 6 and a 2v4. Not a lot of hope for Sprout to actually do anything in this after plant. They don't have a defuse kit, they don't have nades, and they're just going to duck out.
That's a pretty similar storyline as to what we've seen on Train. It was very much Sprout, we could lose the early engagements, and then we're kind of forced to save. Again, 6 was the thorn in their side, but that's a whiff spray. He most certainly should have picked that one up. Maybe he'll thank his lucky stars that he's still standing. And Bpro, well, yes, they will find themselves 4-1, but they want to get rid of these remaining weapons, and Mirbet's got an AWP, so that would be the one they most want to get rid of, but they're just not going to get that opportunity. So Sprout move forward. They have got an AWP to work with, and they've got an AK. It's not great, but it's still something that can maybe pull them off a couple of kills, and perhaps even a round win if they play their cards correctly. Oh, Bpro though, Dennis Law on the AWP on the T side. SG in the hands of Rocking, the rest on AKs. Plenty of utility, plenty of money in the bank as well. As good as a start as you could have asked for here for Bpro.
Couldn't ask for more, really. Breaking the economy of Sprout so early on after losing an arrow pistol. See if the quick tempo eventually goes down.
Searson was the only real shining light for Sprout in that first map. He had some big rounds coming through, but he had his times, but Searson was much more consistent, and there's the second. Rocking able to get one, Raftu there as well, a Keto on Mir, but they're going to step up. Mirbet goes forward and picks up the AWP, and while Rocking finally gets another on the clock, he's still kicking, but needs 2 more. It has to be the 1v3 clutch. The quad kill needs to be had. With 1 minute and 5 seconds, it's doable.
Right now, though, at least they've been able to grab 3 kills to their name. This is going to make a lot of sound, so you might expect to see some reaction coming out of Sprout, but for Rocking right now, it's not as much as winning the round as being able to find at least 1 kill. he's got a lot of real estate to work with as well, with both players tucked inside that inner bomb site. Very unlikely for them to go straying off that. He's got the bomb on his back too, so he could potentially get a bomb plant out of this. And this might actually be the perfect call. Nobody's looking for heaven. Question is, how patient is he going to be? He's going to spot out Mirbit first. Oh, spots him.
What? Rocking just knows he has low ammo count and goes for the taps, and there we go. Easy headshot, Bpro. They walk away with the round win. And, well, Sprout had 2 players inside of the A bomb site. It was looking good for them. The site they want him to come towards is A. And he goes there and still gets both of them.
That is wild. They're making everything work for themselves right now. Sprout have to be starting to feel a little bit sweaty.
Yeah, this is an elimination game, so
yeah.
Sprout need to be careful. They're one of the teams you could maybe see going deep in this tournament, but if they keep this level of performance up, perhaps not. Bpro bringing the pain right now, and this is not so much a Sprout underperformance either. It's more of Bpro stepping up to another level.
Yeah, absolutely so. Oh, that nade's going to be meaty. Actually, no, it goes too far. It's going to be the shots actually doing the most of the damage.
No.
Night bite. Oh, caught out. They get one at the very least, but again, just multiple frags on every angle of the map.
I feel like the M4A1S isn't the weapon of choice to play against this team with.
just doesn't shoot fast enough.
Yeah. It's too many people coming at you at once from so many different angles. And while Keto alone again, 1 minute and 5 seconds left. Every time that Bpro have already won a run, there's still over a minute left on the clock to play with.
I love this, though. It's so quick. And as you said, it's really hard to identify what the issue is when a team is playing that fast.
Yeah, you don't really know what the weakness is because everyone's already dead.
Exactly. So many things are going wrong. It's like, well, this time we didn't hold off Squeaky Door. But it's like, yeah, but you had 3 people running out of hut as well that killed you, and then there's the guy that flying down from main roof. It's
and by the time you gradually fix all the problems, it comes to the point where you've already lost too many rounds.
Yeah, I mean, looking at 6 rounds now for Bpro, this is excellent. Now they know the positioning of Keto as well, and he's going to try to toy around with him with positioning. Oh, misses out the shot. That's his death. So no op saved either. Well. This is definitely not how I ever saw this best 3 going.
Nope.
Look at Rocking just
working
his way around the smokes while there's so much focus on ramp. I'm loving this.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, well, I guess not exactly like Art, because Art runs around with an op and does crazy stuff, but
Art is at a whole nother level of mental.
Yeah, but Rocking is definitely doing his damnedest of being that annoyance and that thorn in the side of Sprout at any given time, and it's been working out brilliantly for them so far. Rebuy comes in. They know that they're going to go up against pistols. So decided to slow it down for once. Still going to be Rocking to find the first kill. Why not?
He was the quietest performer on that last map as well.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily that he didn't do damage, because his ADR was up there. Just wasn't getting all the kills.
Yeah, because the rest of his teammates were stealing them all, but he's having a lot more opportunities in this map. Rocky putting a lot of damage on towards Sirius, and he will take him away. Mirbit will step in with 1. Finally, the trade comes in as Viltrex moves forward, but there's 2 more players to reply. You get 1,
so
you get traded by 2.
Yeah, they're doing such a good job of being there for each other. That's the first time we don't see response immediately, but Faven is not in a scenario where he can actually pick up the gun. And again, quick decision-making from Bpro, deciding to go up to the upper bomb site. Molotovs for Heaven as well, so Faven can't go that route. No bomb denial is going to happen. And they've gotten into really solid after plant position here as well. Right now, they're just outplaying Sprout on Sprout's map pick, where there's only 1 recorded map of Bpro on this map.
Yeah, this is kind of ridiculous. Well, another one that could be recorded is this one. And if they can perform well against Sprout, perhaps Nuke could be one they slip into the map pool. It's Bpro. Unpredictable. If you're a Sprout, though, and you do want to do some preparation... Ooh, Faven has got 1. He'll start to fall away. There's not going to be a whole lot of preparation you can do against this team.
It really isn't.
There we go. 6 does get it.
No Kevlar held into the next round for Sprout, but they're going to get the buy-in.
They've got enough loss bonus at this point.
Yeah, no, they definitely do. Only round picked up so far is the pistol. To kind of paint you the grim picture that Sprout are facing right now. well. We'll see how long this can go on. Bpro really hitting their stride here. Bit of a different look as well. Early smokes out into yard. And Speedy removed.
Speedy is, it's quite the term to describe Bpro at this point. They're just running everywhere so fast. And I think at this point, however, it's time to say we are believers in Bpro. We've always believed in them.
Oh, dude, never a moment of doubt, really. And Searson was spotted with his shoulder as well, so I don't think Dennis is actually going to stray off his angle, and they're so ready for everything that's being thrown their direction. 2-man advantage, haven't really had to move all that much. Now it's going to come down to a big play on the side of some of the Sprout players. If they can do it, it's an attempt at the very least. Fabian only finds one, and again, it's the trades for Bpro.
Well, Searson as the angle, the op kill comes in on towards Zix. One more player there, it's Viltrex. Well, Searson is doing his damnedest to try to stay alive, but it's not enough. Keto has to step up with a 1v3, and they know exactly where he is. He does get one. Well, that'll force Bpro to try and relocate.
What he doesn't know,
the game is Denislaw's winning, and there it is. The kill comes in. And well, if you're Keto, you just can't catch a break there. You walk one way, you're going to get shot. If you walk up the vent room, there's an AWP waiting for you there as well.
It's it's a rough ordeal out there if you're a Sprout player. Man alive.
You did predict a quick to 0, Halvor.
Yeah, I did. Just let's strike out, edit the video where I say it's going to be Sprout.
Against Sprout, that's what it was.
Yeah, just misworded it. But no, this is fun because it's not a case of Sprout playing, terribly or anything like that. It's Bpro being so damn good.
Well, again, Favin has just kind of got whiplash trying to figure out where they are because Zix has just sped past him with the Mac-10. And Keto and Searson, they lie back, and Denislaw, he's got the AWP, he's got the kill, and it's 9-1.
Like, even if you are Sprout and you manage to salvage this somewhat, is 6 rounds going to be enough on your CT side? We talked about, sure, more and more T sides are doing better on Nuke, but there's a limit to it, right?
Yeah, there is a limit. And, well, we didn't really see too much from Sprout's T side on Train, so we haven't really seen too much from the T side to really give us that much hope. We've seen some sides of life, but not a whole lot. And even Searson has stopped with the Mac-10.
Yeah, from that range. They're just on point right now. Rocking 15-0-7. Not sharing as much of the carries they did on Train, but still getting the frags down.
Where's the timeout? Where's the timeout from Sprout? I'm just waiting for that coming through.
Again, it might be the case of, because it's so quick, they don't really know what to talk things through about. It's just like, guys, we're losing rounds. It's like, yeah, I've kind of registered that at this point, but what kind of options do you go about to change that up? Finally, a bit of a slip up from Bpro. No door open, but nobody actually running through main either. Oh, Searson was so flashed.
Again, their flashbangs have been really solid. We've seen that on Train as well.
And that was the one worry we had for Nuke, really, right? How good is their team play going to be? It was solid on Train, which is, again, a fairly technical map, but I'd say Nuke ups it. But they've been so good so far. I guess CT side still yet to be seen how well they deal with rotations and whatnot, but...
If they get enough T-runs.
Might not matter.
Yeah. Well, here comes Mirabit. He's going to be under pressure again. I kind of feel bad for him. He's only got an M4A1S.
And he's always alone. There's never any sort of rotation backup because Searson has to help out Spitty out towards yard. Over and over again. Does find one and no trade this time around.
This should be Spitty's first kill. He's forced away up to heaven.
Not going to come in yet. Ramp room control gained, but this is allowed for Sprout to actually get some rotations downstairs. Oh, funky angle there for Mirabit, and with the shots coming in from Toxic Room as well. He's going to get an open invitation for a frag.
Mirabit has done a really good job in this round. 2 kills collected, delayed a lot for rotation. This teammate's got a kill as well. 2v4. This is the best chance that Sprout have had. And when the bomb plant is coming through, Fab's going to walk right through, but he takes damage himself. He's forced away. Get behind that squeaky door. And Spinny trying to spam through, trying to get his first kill, but he is so close to connecting it. Finally, Zix will hit the deck, and it's on to Denislaw. 1v4. This shouldn't happen. Flash goes in. He'll line up 2 players, though, and not to 1v2. Both coming in from below him. There's another chance. He gets the third, but finally, seriously, we'll put him in the floor. It is going to be a second for Sprout, but again, it comes down to a 1v1 when it was a 1v4.
Yeah, that is unreasonably well done by Denislaw to find 3, especially the last one. Makes it so expensive for Sprout to rebuy into this. Finally, we saw a round where Mirbit's able to actually get a frag without getting traded as well. It's big news. But yeah, this play from Denislaw, the lineup, and the final headshot he gets on the two players running in from long door. 9-2, and well, there's no doubt whose buy you're favoring in this one. Again, Searson flashed off his angle. He has to be worried about main. It's been such a often used spot on the side of Bpro.
Oh, well, Denislaw just jumps on top of a box and takes the free kill. Seriously, just walks in the garage, not really expecting him to be susceptible to death from the open, but...
Sprout, the issue for Sprout right now is that whatever they're trying, it's not working. We're seeing a lot of different looks being given to them by Bpro, so they can't necessarily stack up over towards the yard side and feel like that's going to be the way to shape things up. Keto is in for a world of hurt here. Finds one. That's very well done. Actually gets a second one as well. Might even get a third, but while that is happening, Denislaw has managed to find Spitty.
That A1S just has such a slow fire rate. It's so difficult to get those shots off to multiple opponents. And
that does no damage somehow.
Utility coming in across the board, holding on. Here it is, Bpro with the advantage. One play up towards Heaven, it's Mirbit. They've got Favin inside of main, and Denislaw's taken away the threat from the Heavens. Well, Favin is the last man standing, and Denislaw's got him as well. 10-2. Really saw the stuff here from Bpro. They lose one, but they answer right back again. Yeah,
reset Sprout. They have no money to work with here, and the odds are, yeah, fairly indicative of the situation. GG.Bet, 1.13 for Bpro, heavily favoring them to close this out and make it at 2-0. It is damn impressive what these guys are doing right now. I mean, if you're, I think whoever, you're set to play in the decider match, they would probably be expecting to run into Sprout, and that would be a tough challenge in itself. But if you're looking at the way Bpro are playing, you can't really feel like that's a gimme.
Ooh. Searson close by with a P250. Ziggs is going to walk across, and at least that's something. They've got an opening kill.
It's a start. Not able to pick up a gun, though, and that's being covered by Denislaw. And still, the weaponry is obviously heavily favoring Bpro, but that's some damage. They're going to double up on him. No head armor, though. Easy going for Denislaw.
He's just, everything is going his way right now. He pulls out the Glock and he still deals with him easily. Maybe a bit under pressure. He's got the Deagle on the ramp as they start to come in towards him. The utility being used up, it's a bit. Oh no.
No connections and
no connections at all,
somehow,
but he's still alive.
Yeah, well, for the time being.
He's just been run over. That is like a cement mixer. Just rolled over the top of him. And with Keto and Speedy, they're into a 2v4. Deagle's in hand. They've got an AK in the hands of Speedy. Still yet to get a single kill, so he's having a really difficult game.
Everyone's having a difficult game on the side of Sprout. Man alive. Sprout probably felt so confident going into this as well, and they have to be shook right now. Oh, Keto easily dealt with as he moves up from Secret. Speedy, not very likely to find his first kill here. Raftu is waiting in a cheeky off angle.
Oh no, there's no way you check this.
Oh, it's going from bad to worse here if you're Sprout. At least they're going to have money here. But if the best case scenario for you is to get a 4-11 CT side, that's not something you write home about.
Yeah, you just make sure that no one ever knows about that. But it could be worse. It comes back to that glass half full, half empty analogy we've been using. I think Sprout have to remain positive, otherwise this one might just be over. As Bpro having an excellent T-side showing, but Sprout do have a bye here, they have another chance, and 11-4 is a score you can come back from. It's not a done deal yet. There's always a chance.
There's always a chance, and Searson just trying something different here. Very aggressive. The intertake is going to take place.
Oh, Keto has done well so far, but Denislaw will take him away. Favin treads back, but Spitty's hit the deck. And it's going to be a man advantage for the T side as they start to come on in. It's Favin again falling. They have no idea where the Bpro players are. They're just so stealthy and quick. And well, Searson's into a 1v3 clutch to try and save the team again. And there's one pickup Bombs planted, still 2 players to fight.
Oh, miss Molotov, so that's going to give an avenue for Searson, but already on top of Hut makes Squeaky a different place difficult place to go through. And Searson, yeah, you kind of have to save. You're saving at 2 to 11. It's not where you want to find yourself, but that's the reality of the situation for Sprout. They're just getting dominated. No other word for it. And Bpro are doing it with pace as well, which is so fun to see. Not giving any chance for Sprout to really figure out what's going on the map. So 12 rounds secured on T side of Nuke.
Forget anything you actually knew about Nuke. Just scrap that. You know, anybody who calls it the CT side of map.
There has been a shift in, it has been a change in progress, right? More and more T-sides being prominent. I think that's a perfectly fine thing. I don't think we need balanced maps in that sense. It's perfectly fine. If it's an ability for one team to win 13 rounds, then you can do it too.
It's quite fun to watch because some teams will be better at the offense, some will be better at defense.
Absolutely, right?
It gives it. I mean, if every team's the same, it's just boring, right?
Absolutely. If you're gonna have every map be an 18-7 or an 8-7. It's not really that much tension around it. But you'd imagine Sprout had something more to work with here when it comes to their own map pick on their CT side. Keto finally going to get a favorable trade here, and the stack up on the inner bomb set is working out, at least for the time being. Might have spoken too soon, though.
It was working for them.
The Molotov just set off as well. They're going to re-up on it. Mirbit, last man alive. Little does he know, though. Bpro have made it down to the lower bomb site. Denislaw is on 7 HP, and it's not like Rocking is flush with health points either, but so many angles to clear out here. And so little time. No defuse kit either. There we go.
Decent half from Bpro. 13-2 on the T side of their opponent's map pick on Nuke. This is the one Sprout should have been comfortable on.
Yeah.
And, well, it looks anything but. Speedy having a really, really tough time with things. 0 kills, 15 deaths. Not really too many more players on that team doing too well either. I think Mirbit's had one good run towards the ramp room, but other than that, he's been traded out and really hit up the face by multiple players. We've seen Keto try and hold on to the A-bomb side, but again, there's just too many players to deal with. It's been the story of just Bpro, strength in numbers, mob mentality, run over the top of them. And well, here they go again, CT side. If they pick up the pistol, this might just be a done deal. Sprout need this in their bag.
Oh, and a must-win round. Keto starts it off at least at the right pace. Raf to fall. Oh. Well, even through smokes and flames, Six is going to be able to find the connection onto Mirbit, but they've made it down onto the lower bomb side, and that's where the bomb's going to get planted. Speedy in a position to potentially get his first kill of the half. He's going to have to duck out, though. At least information gained, but it's not going to stop Bpro. They're not worried about Speedy. They know that that's one player removed from the bomb site.
Well, seriously, we'll take 2 headshots. This is looking good for Sprout, and I feel like that's the only time I've ever said it, that in this map. And Rocking, he's trying his best, but Keto will take him away. It's Denislaw 1v4. We've seen him come close in these situations before, but this is a little bit too far.
Oh, Speedy goes down as well.
Yeah.
So 0-16. Not having a great time.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, it's pretty difficult to go an entire game without getting a single kill. Can we take that as an achievement?
I mean, yeah, people have done it before. I think it was Solek way back when, who went -1 and 19 in a game, which is...
There was, I mean, Snatchy did it recently, right?
Yeah, that's true.
For this pro.
Which is really unheard of, considering how good Snatchy's been.
And it was an overtime game or something as well, which is the crazy thing.
Oh, well, we'll see how long the craziness lasts here. Bpro lose the pistol. They've lost both pistol in this game, believe it or not. This is where they struck back in the first half.
It's not as strong as a buy, though, here on the CT side. They've got a decent buy, but it's still pretty weak. And the Eagle's going to go around the corner. It's 1 kill, making 2. And, well, perhaps there is a chance, but the Mac-10s do recover. Nearbit finds another. And this should be back to normality with Sprout finding a couple on the board.
Yeah, that should be it. Spitty with his first kill of the game. Finds Rocking, and Raftu with the Eagle doesn't have too much hope of winning back this 1v3. Doesn't have a defuse kit, doesn't have utility, but he might net himself a kill and potentially pick up a weapon here. Keto has an AK, so that's something to look for.
So 13-4. Sprout on a little way back into it. Have to hangs on to the full Kevlar, so it does take something away from that round, and Bpro should just save here. Maybe buy a P250 and a few players, but again, it's probably just best to save everything and move into the next one with the full investment. Too often do we see these massive scorelines just get ruined due to poor economic decisions.
Yeah, that is very true, but from what we've seen out of Bpro so far, no real reason for us to believe that that's going to be the case. Just moderate investment is perfectly fine for the time being. Dennis not buying anything at all. He wants that op as quickly as possible. We can get on board with this.
Searson finds himself towards the secret stairs, maybe a bit towards the bottom of the vent. Good control already taken by Sprout. They know that they have to give full respect to the side though, because they can lose to this pretty easily, as Mirabit will take away one. Good check on the corner. Keith able to pick up one as well.
I think he saw the gun tip through the vents as he moved up. But yeah, this should be a formality for Sprout, but given what we've seen in the first half, it feels like nothing can really be written off.
Yeah, we kind of learned that throughout these invitationals as well. Some crazy stuff does happen online.
For now, though, Sprout doing a good job of maintaining normality. It's the max 10s that are picking up a fair few of these kills as well, which is good. Bomb goes down. Only Dennis left. Well, he's going to wait for someone to run into him. Maybe he gets lucky here with Searson. Oh, finds Spitty as well. Okay, damage being done here. Snatched up a Mac 10. He's not going to bring that forward, but maybe he can find an additional kill. There's no real reason for Sprout to go hunting for this.
Well, Dennis Law is going to hide away behind the boxes, and he's dead. So Mibit finds him. That's 3 in a row for Sprout. First time we've got to say that so far. And will it be more
4
to come? Just look at this bar of how many T-runs have been won. There's been 2 CT runs on this board.
On Nuke.
Yeah. It's kind of ridiculous.
It really has been, but it's all been due to the effort of Bpro. They've shown up with a solid T-half. Really doing well for themselves. It hasn't been fluky, it hasn't been due to the fact that Sprout have been dropping the ball either. Not aware of that main area being open. It's a nice return from 6 though, but Keto's quick to reply still. Vitrek's up air, completely unnoticed. He's good for 2. And Denislaus made it up the vents apparently.
Well, Mirabit comes on up. That's going to be the kill on the Krieg. 1v1. Denislaw can certainly win this. We've seen him in the clutches so far. As Mirabit hits the deck, he jumps off the top of heaven. Denislaw's crossed over, he's on the bomb at this point. Mirabit knows it's a possibility. He has the angle, he's got the kill. Sprout keep pushing forward, and they stay afloat. That came down to a 1v1 on the Bpro. Certainly could have won, but Sprout, they keep on pushing it. It's good to see that they're not giving up.
Haven't given up just yet, but gets really dicey there. Viltrek's doing a good job to find 2, also buying time for Dennis to come through with the op. This is going to be expensive. It's not going to be easy for Sprout to come back into this. We've seen Bpro able to make the most out of a bad situation in the past. You have the individuals to pull this off. For the time being, it being pistols, but they haven't gone too crazy either, and I like that. Not going to buy 5 smokes and a couple of HEs and throw them willy-nilly. They have an idea behind what they do.
I wonder if there's someone in the world called willy-nilly.
Probably is, right?
There has to be.
That's a mean parent, though.
Yeah, that is
if your
a mean
last
parent.
name is Nilly and you call your son Willie.
It's like Richard Head.
Yeah, that's about. I think probably people aren't too well versed with English will know why, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's a bit of a dick move, you could say.
Definitely. I remember there was a kid in my school. His parents called him Jimmy Riddle.
Jimmy, oh.
Yeah, so that was nice.
I think it's illegal in Norway for certain names or certain combinations of names to be
I mean, that's nice.
put together. So
that's good.
Prevention system right there. Right now, there hasn't been much prevention from denying Sprout access to the lower bomb site, but it is a pistol round coming in from Bpro regardless, so to be expected. Viltrex rocking, seeing if they can do some damage at the very least. Sprout just kind of going through the motions here. Definitely been a slower pace T-side from Sprout, but then again, they have so much more to lose.
Yeah, it's kind of like, well, we can't afford to make a single mistake at this point.
It seems like Bpro very much thrived in the chaos of it all. Searson, low HP, might be found here by Viltrex. He has an inkling that somebody might be here. He's being really careful, but not careful enough. So Sprout have people surviving. They're going to have enough to buy up as well, plenty of times. For Bpro, it's all about finding their footing here on the CT side. So far, Sprout were unable to do so, and that's why we're only seeing 2 rounds in total being netted here on the CT sides for both teams. Still plenty of game to be played. 9 rounds to go, potentially.
Spam coming in from Spiddy. It's much slower approach from Sprout. It's actually giving us time to think. Rockin has got the kill on the Searson. He's had enough. He wants to bring the fight to them, and while Keto moving forward, Rocky's still there, and Keto will pick up the kill. Rocky had no idea, but the trade is in from 6. Even on the CT side, there's someone there to trade.
Yeah, that's a 3-man setup over towards Yard from Bpro. Sprout has no idea, and this is the kind of overstacking that you can be afforded to do if you're up pretty heavily. But it's also something we never got to see Sprout really come to terms with. That's something they can do when they were struggling. Ramp has been open though, and that is, you're really all in here. Takes a ton of damage from the Molotov, not being able to find a kill. Viltrex quick on the rotate here though. Might catch a player or 2 off guard even though they're making noise.
Well, maybe a bit 1 onto Viltrex. 6 able to step in as well, but it's a 2v2. 30 seconds still left on that timer. So plenty of time for the CTs to just start to make their way back in.
So tough though with Dennis on the op. He has to be really, really careful. That's a solid nade onto Spitty. A lot of this is going to come down to 6 and how he moves about.
Spitty under pressure, 11 HP with the time so far gone at this point. They have to get on it immediately, and Feven's got the angle. He's got the kill, and that's job done. That's enough. They took too long there, the CTs really trying to get back into the bomb site.
Dennis needs to clear out so many angles with an op, right? And you don't want to scope around for every one of them to give away your positioning.
Yeah.
It becomes really tough. And right now, it's not enough for you to just keep it expensive for Sprout, because they're running rounds that's cheap to play on the T side, so you're going to be able to rebuy without too much of an issue, and that's not the case for the CTs, obviously. So as close as they're getting, it's not enough. Sprout slowly building confidence, but they know that this is hanging in a very thin thread. Again, half investment, still allowing themselves to get a proper buy in the next one.
Well, Keto taking a leaf out of the book of a Bpro, running right in towards the A bomb site. He's got 2. And Dennis Law starts to push through the ramp room. He's got 1 on the AWP. A kill comes in from 6 as well. Bomb plant can't come through just yet from Sprout. Fab been trying to play with the smoke, but he'll have to go towards the vent, and that's where the rest of the Sprout guys are going. They're going towards the B bomb site. They should hear this as well on the CT side. Sprout should get the bomb plant before it and have time to get some post-plant positions established.
Question is whether or not they want to fully commit to it. They have 2 ops here. Then again, how do you normally play Nuke CT side with 2 ops? That might be a bit of an issue in itself. We haven't really seen secondary opping happen on the side of Bpro either. Not even on train. For now, though, just holding off. And actually, just like that, 2 of the weapons gone. But they've been able to hold on to at least one of the 2 ops. So Raf2 is going to be equipped to throw that over to Viltrix if he survives, and it's very likely that he'll do so.
Sprout are a team, though, that'll never... They're good enough to not be out of a game, ever.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We're seeing that now. They're mounting 7 rounds in a row here, and they're doing it in a pretty methodical fashion as well, which is what you want to see out of them. It's not gimmicky again. It's not based off of luck, even though a fair few of these rounds are coming down into clutch situations. They established the early game for themselves pretty nicely.
It's just a sea of T rounds there on the bar.
Not your typical Nuke game, is it?
No. Only 2 rounds won, both by defusal as well on the CT side. We're seeing Bpro throw a little bit of aggression in towards their CT side. It worked for the beginning, but then it crumbled towards the end.
Yeah. We saw Sprout do it at one instance as well on their CT side, which ended up in the 1v2 versus Rocking that they ended up losing.
Stanislaus having a pretty good game.
He is, 25 frags, and that's the Opera on Nuke. Not necessarily the easiest map to get into the groove of things, but he was doing it in, I guess, not necessarily the most typical ways, especially considering how quick of a T-side Bpro had, right?
Well, Searson heads his way towards outside. Wants to try and find a fight early, but nothing coming his way. It'll be Dennis Lott towards the back lines with his hop. See when he can spot. Searson's already towards Secret. So he knows there's no one there, or at least no one close to him.
Yeah.
Could be a player already on the stairs. He doesn't know
did
that.
Dennis Lott miss that?
Did he miss it, or did he
I'm not sure if the smoke was still there.
He looks like he might have an idea that they could be across. With that utility being used, that should be enough to confirm. Spots him anyway.
Keto goes back. I think Keto saw him as well. So he's not going to go back into that duel. Doesn't know about 6, though. So might reposition himself a little bit. Poorly. We'll see, though. Searson's been getting a lot of real estate here, but still has to contend with... So that Raf2.
That's so awkward. He's not playing on the stairs, so he assumes it's clear. He's actually at the bottom of the stairs and just spots the head.
It's that mousetrap waiting to snap.
Yeah, so Sprout have no control here. They've just got to rely on an execute to come in. Maybe they execute in towards the A-bomb site. Favin gets the headshot, so that's back into a 4v4. Viltrex wants to hold on towards the A site, and they're all going through the vent.
They're going to dive down to the lower bomb site once more. Raftu's still here. He could actually swing back and try for a bomb denial.
Did Tesla spot him?
Yeah, he did.
He's gone already. Spitty's just out of there. He doesn't want to take that fight at all. And while Mirabit is going to fall to Ziggs, bomb plant not coming in just yet. They're not even on the bomb site. Eventually they make the beeline for it.
10 seconds.
And there is literally no time for this. No margin for error. And they have to just commit to the site. Molotov's being used. Keto's 11 HP. He's dropped through the smoke. That's job done. It's 14-9. Finally, Bpro break the curse. They get a CT round win.
It comes at a cost, though. 4 players go down in the end. But right now, you're just happy about finding something on the CT side for yourself. They're going to rebuy, obviously, into it. It's not going to be a great one. UMP on Rocking. 6 actually going to opt in for light Kevlar. And a little bit of utility. And here we go. Can they string 2 together? That would put them on map and serious point. I've come so far. It would be a shame to see it slip at the very end. And again, Sprout being slow in their approach. Mirabit's made it out of doors, but didn't quite make it down into vents, so he's going to decide to do a double taking back out. Sprout have been favoring that lower bomb side. Whether it's going through secret or down through vents, they've been wanted to go there more often than not. Look at the aggressive positioning though. Rocking, okay, you're getting super aggressive with Viltrex here, and it's working out pretty nicely for you. Lobby control gained. I'm not really sure if Sprout knew what hit them. They've managed to get up close in main at the very least, but they don't have any control of what's going on inside a lobby. And Viltrex, easy kill for him as Keto backs into his aim.
Seriously, missed shot. He'll have to fall away. That was an opportunity.
It was.
Pun intended. And Spitty will grab Viltrex, so at least they missed the first opportunity, but they find another.
Yeah, Molotov out to heaven as well. So bomb plant should be secured. Then it's going to move.
Should be secured. Zix comes in and denies it, but Syrson getting one, he's treated right back. It's map and series point for Bpro.
6 rounds in a row of perfection. That's what's required out of Sprout right now.
That's just for overtime.
Yeah, that's just for overtime. When a boss comes through, you have to imagine that Sprout talking things through.
Just questioning what is happening. Who are these Bpro guys?
They got so caught off as well by the aggressive push. We saw it now coming in again from Bpro. The aggression from, I think it was Raftu and rocking into lobby, working out brilliantly. Might have been Miltrix actually, but yeah, regardless. Teaming up with it, one flash is all it takes, immediate reward for it. And it's at the time as well where you have the Sprout players kind of shifting positions, so you have a player outside of lobby who's not able to be a part of that fight at all, and you just get picked apart. So the best you can do is a 2-for-1 or 1-for-2 trade. I
mean, if anybody hadn't heard of Bpro, which you've heard of the organization, but you may not be familiar with this edition of it.
Yeah,
they're certainly on your radar now at this point. They're performing pretty well here, and I'm sure they'll get more invites to a lot of online tournaments.
I mean, if they can keep this up, absolutely. I mean, showcasing that they definitely have the grit to take on Sprout in a best of 3.
If they manage to topple Sprout here, they'll have another opportunity to show what they're made of. Moving forward in the GG.Bet New York Invitational. New York is a long way off, but if they can get closer and closer to it, that's all that matters, is Faven. He'll be here. Molotov going in towards credit card as he starts to put pressure in towards the A-bomb site. One player up in the rafters. They played that position every single time here. Viltrax is finally caught. Keto comes in, Mirbit as well, and job done for Sprout. They will stay alive. It's not over yet. And this is the first of the 6 that they need.
That was more like it. That was very Bpro-esque, I suppose.
Yeah. And it's funny because a couple of the rounds that they've done that and they've won convincingly is off the back of a playstyle that Bpro have been using.
Yeah. Tempo is king, apparently. Raftu finds Keto, but likelihood of him being able to save alive in this situation is not that great. You have 2 Sprout players hunting him from below already, and Syrson cutting off the top end of it. And right now, yeah, backs off in. Mirbit and Faven, quick work of that. So there's the bounce back, and that obviously is going to have an impact on the economy of Bpro, but you're still not favoring them. You're still not loving their chances.
So you can make the scoreline look respectable after the first half.
Yeah, I mean, that is
job done.
at the very least something. But right now, you're fighting for your life, right? Staying alive in a qualifier for a New York event.
It's one of those events that you definitely, if you're Sprout and you're up and coming, you want to be able to showcase yourself at a big event. And Heroic have had that where they've started to come up on these online events, and finally are getting to show it at big events.
Well, yeah, they won the Sydney Invitational. They won the, well, they ended up going through in the Chicago Invitational.
Yeah.
Due to the visa issues on force, but
they're already at Cologne, obviously.
Yeah. It's definitely an important stepping stone. Keto is going to be able to find Rocking, unsuspecting.
Oh.
Again, it's the lower bomb site in these slow rounds that Sprout go to time and time again.
Seriously under a lot of pressure though, and Viltrax will take him away. So that's the AWP on the floor. I'll throw Molotov onto it. Good play from Mirbit to stop them from just darting in, taking the AWP and falling away with it. The T-side start to swarm that bomb. Or that AWP, shall I say. And make sure that these CTs can't get their hands on it. Steal it away. It's Spitty. It's going to take that kill. He's looking for the follow-up. Viltrax just sitting up on top, the only player to salvage anything in this one for Bpro. 15-11, if he can keep the Sprout players close to that bomb. Will cause a couple of rebuys, but he does fall in the end. 15-11. Sprout, they do get another 2 in a row. Finally, the money's back in the bank account still of Bpro, and they'll get the rifles in. It's going to be the AWP in the hands of Denislaw. With the way he's performing, it's kind of a win condition that he's got that AWP in his hands.
Yeah, very much so.
Well, it drops in towards the vent. He is at the bottom. And Sprout start to put a little bit of pressure in towards the secret stairs. And Mirbit gonna take the headshot. Raftu is completely gone. It's gonna be the man advantage for the T side. Sprout need this in the bag again, and they're continuing to look pretty solid. Overtime is a real possibility with the way they're performing right now, because Bpro haven't really been at the same level on the CT side. They haven't really been able to dictate the pace, and Sprout have looked much more comfortable here.
Yeah, it's been kind of two sides of the same story for both these sides on the CT. Half of it, not just being able to be up to pace. Sprout's been abusing that lower bomb side. For Bpro, I guess it was more of a varied selection, but end result is still the same. Nothing else though. Bpro looking to stay alive with a fair few. 6 does fall, but being able to hold on to 3 weapons is better than nothing. I'll make that 2. So then, with a third man falling on the side of Bpro, you'd imagine that they don't force up behind this. There's no real reason for it. You could just see what Dennis is able to accomplish with the op potentially, but that drop over to Rocking makes me feel a little bit nervous that they might want to reinvest into this. I think they'd be better off just, well, doing a half investment, and actually that might be what they're doing. If it's just like Kevlar, yeah, okay, Viltrix fully commits. Not a big fan of that. And yeah, they're just going to go all in on this, it seems. They will have opportunities for more buys later on, but you were looking to get... You could do a half buy with this SMGs and just have the op and the Colt hopefully do most of the work for you and still get a full buy into the next round. That would have been perfectly fine, but this is what they've decided to go with. We'll see how it pans out. Again, Sprout been able to get down to lower so easily, so many times. And even though GG.Bet still favoring Bpro here. I mean, it makes sense. They're on map point.
Yeah.
It's very much Sprout that's taken control over this map, or at least in this half.
I mean, Bpro might have had a one-sided T-side affair. Sprout have done the same.
Yeah.
You got to remember that.
Anything you can do, I can do better. Seems to be the mantra of today.
Bpro only need is 1. Getting that 1 run though can sometimes be the most difficult run to achieve.
Yeah, at least they're not falling for I guess the typical mistake of thinking we're gonna look into it at some point anyway, so we can have a couple of extra force buys, that kind of thing.
Oh, Rocking getting spammed, but it's Syrison who will take the kill through the vent. Man advantage for Sprout.
Slow approach from Sprout. Continues. This time ramp control has been maintained. They haven't gone down yet. We already have 2 players sitting around towards Secret, so there's a rotation possibility, but people are holding pretty steadily where they're at right now. They haven't vacated the upper bomb side at all. Might be their demise. Sprout just being so patient here. 6 is finally going to move down. Dennis Slot creeping closer to the vents. Well, actually, 6 is going to move up. Full-on gamble towards the upper bomb site. Speedy still lurking here. Bomb's about to go down.
Dennis Slot. Close angle, close kill. Speedy completely gone. 30 seconds left as the bomb is getting planted. Bpro are going to have to try and rotate towards that lower bomb site. They're going to group up, it seems, and going to be going for a long approach in through the ramp room. And Mirabit's going to be under pressure. He's got the backup of Syrison, trying to keep them guessing here, but the nade goes in. The CT side are going to be held off, but right through the smoke, Syrison's been dropped, and that is a big problem for them. Sprout fall back into the bomb site. 17 seconds to play with here. They've got to go. They have to get back into the site. They may have the advantage, but the time is ticking.
Yeah, they might actually just want to back off from this. Well, especially with Faven getting a double kill. No reason for you to push your limits. I'm so surprised that they actually wanted to set up for that.
Why did they go back towards ramp? They were close enough to the bomb site.
It's got me beat, for sure.
They wasted so much time. They had access to the vent, but they all go back towards ramp, and that cost them vital seconds.
And one of the reasons, one of the things I'm curious about with Bpro's handling of the CT side here so far is the fact that Sprout have 90% of the time ended up on the lower bomb side. Whenever they've gone slow, they've never actually wrapped around to upper.
Yeah.
So if you're going to make a gamble stack, why are you making it towards the upper part of the site, you know, with 30 seconds left of the round? That just doesn't add up for me.
Well, what looked like it could be a quick one might end up being a very long, drawn-out series. We do have a possibility of hitting that third map. Sprout their comeback. 15-13. And with the success they've had on their team side, it's hard to see a world in which they drop the ball completely. And Seriously, oh no, the timing. Ooh. He looks away, and that's a kill. It comes down to these sort of minute situations that can start to cost you games, and that might just be one of them. Seriously gone, one of the most high-impact players on the team. Well, he's not going to have any more impact across the board here. Bpro cannot afford to make a mistake. Sprout throw the smoke out towards the vent. They're starting to come closer and closer to that vent itself as they go through the door. They're all down the vent. There's going to be Famine already towards the bottom, and well, they're caught on by it again. This time Denislaw will fall Keto as well. How many times can this happen? How many times can Sprout just walk straight down the vent, take the B-bomb site, and no answer come through?
Apparently a whole lot of times. And again, it's same old story. And ooh.
Rip.
Well,
yikes.
It's less than ideal. Bit of an technical issue there on our side. Yeah, not really sure what to make of that, but
yeah, I mean, obviously Zix won the whole thing.
Yeah, just closed it out, shut down the server.
Well, obviously Zix probably looked unlikely that he was able to win that one, but we'll be coming back shortly, hopefully, to the game. Sprout certainly on the comeback trail though, and
yeah, and doing it in the same fashion over and over again.
Exactly, and it does give this break does give us a little bit of time to sort of realize and digest what's just happened, because we've barely seen any CT rounds won.
Yeah, we've seen a total of 4.
Yeah.
And we're nearing 30 rounds.
On Nuke, again.
Yeah, exactly, on Nuke. That's important to emphasize. And it's hard to say, but because, I mean, for the better part, it's been, you know, give credit where credit is due, solidly played T-sides, but there's definitely a bit of an issue in terms of how they're adapting. I think on the side of Sprout, they had more of an excuse to not adapt because Bpro were doing so much different. And it was a quick pace. It's hard to get a good read of what you need to change up, what you need to adjust in order to be able to combat that. Yeah. On the side of Bpro, they don't really have as much of an excuse, because whenever the tempo's been slowed down, sure, you might be ending up getting pressure either from ramp room or towards then through vents or secret, but it's still a matter of Sprout ending up at the same spot each and every time when they slow the pace down, or slow the pace down. So what you need to do for Bpro is that if you're not hearing anything for the longest time, you haven't been, I guess, a victim of a wrap from yard into heaven, that kind of thing that messes up your upper B side, so now upper bomb side. So you might as well try to gamble stack towards the lower bomb. We've pretty much only seen single man defenses there for the better time of it, and that's not going to really do a whole lot for you, especially when Sprout are so good at actually taking the site. Because they get around everywhere on the map with a lot of utility left.
And that's one of the things we kind of talked about as well, as a possible weakness for Bpro here on Nuke, is it does become a little bit more complex on that CT side.
The rotations, it's everything.
And they haven't really looked great on rotations in terms of, even on train, they made some blunders with the rotations. So when you bring it over to Nuke and you're losing the B-bomb site pretty much every time, that becomes a big problem.
Absolutely so. And it's not like Bpro haven't had time to adjust to this either, right? They've had timeouts, they've had multiple rounds where the same kind of occurrence happen over and over again. So this could be inexperience coming back to bite them, but at a certain stage, you kind of have to give in to the fact that what we're doing right now is not working. So let's make a bit of a gamble out of it. And again, if more often than not they're going to end up on the lower bomb site, go with that. That's at least something, somewhere you can have a footing. And if it doesn't pan out, well, you're still exactly where you left off before you tried something new. So yeah, we'll see if they actually come to that conclusion, if they realize that early enough. Because if this goes into an overtime, I feel like Bpro are obviously not going to be feeling too confident about where they stand.
I don't think I'll feel too confident for Bpro if it hits overtime. I think we'll definitely see a third map there. And if we do go to a third map, I think that's where we see the end of Bpro.
Yeah, it is Mirage for those who I guess probably expected this to be over by now. Mirage would be the third map, and I guess we know Sprout can play that for sure. And again, a bit more question marks for Bpro. One thing is just, in general, what kind of maps they have on it, and also the fact that they've just gone through what would have been a hell of a comeback on Sprout, how they deal with that.
Yeah, exactly. We don't know what's happening right now. We have got a server problem. Hopefully that'll be fixed pretty shortly. But you know, taking a look at what has just happened, we have to assume that it's going to go to overtime just for the way Sprout are playing. And the way that it's kind of like it's been a massive drop-off in Bpro. They look so solid on their T side. Switch over to the CT side, completely opposite side. And we've kind of talked about how this can start to cause mental problems as well. You're not going to be, if you're a young team, you won't really have that mental resilience to come back from that as well.
Yeah, we've also seen them doing basically changing up less and less things. So out of the 2 rounds they've won on the CT side, one of them was an aggressive push in towards lobby, right? There hasn't been any sort of inkling of them wanting to go aggressive again on their CT sides. We saw a couple of rounds earlier. They had the 3-man setup over towards Yard to deal with Searson. They were more proactive in their approach to how they wanted to shut down Sprout, even when they went slow. So, yeah, it definitely comes into if they have the presence of mind to be aware of what they've done in the past and whether or not it didn't result in an actual round win. Maybe it set you off on a good start. Because right now we've had multiple instances of them just losing the initial pick, therefore giving up the lower bomb site and trying to save off that, or going for a very, very hopeful retake very late into the bomb timer.
Yeah, well, we have just got a confirmation we'll be heading back into the game very, very shortly. So we're not going to be. It's not going to be us on the screen anymore, Tom. You'll be very glad to hear. Yeah, very glad to hear about that one.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's very difficult for a team like Bpro coming into a tournament for the fact that you kind of know that you shouldn't really be going too far in the tournament, but that kind of gives you little pressure. Like, you have no pressure whatsoever. The only pressure that you'll have is the pressure you put on yourself.
Yeah, and you do put a lot on yourself when you've gotten to map point, right?
Yeah.
And not just map point, but serious point, because you've done so well to win out train. That took a lot of us by surprise, and then you follow it up with a blazing T side. Now the hard part should be over, so everything's on you. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Like that's when you start. A little bit.
Yeah, you start kind of breaking yourself down when it doesn't really come to fruition, when it doesn't end up being as easy to close the game out as you might have expected with how easy the first half went.
Yeah, when you hit 15, it's kind of like you see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you just kind of start thinking, oh my god, we're about to beat Sprout. This is going to be a great upset. People are going to start talking about us. And the job's not done.
Yeah, yeah, you can't really open your mouth until you're sitting at 16. So we'll see, though. They're still going to have more chances, even though that, at the score of 15-13, where we had the server issue, it didn't look likely for a retake to happen.
It didn't.
But there's still one more round left to be played before we potentially go into OT.
Yeah, and obviously we're no stranger to seeing overtimes in this tournament so far.
No.
And Bpro, when they went to overtime against Optic, it didn't go too well for them. They ended up losing in a pretty clean sweep.
And that was a game where they, as you said, they had multiple chances leading up to the end of regulation.
They reached map point first. So
there you go.
Similar story.
It might be a bit of a collapse on a collective collapse on their end, and obviously that's rough. But that's also part of being a growing team, right? Making it through the ranks, you have to get a couple of punches to the face before you learn how to deal with it. Yeah, absolutely. They were notorious for that.
Yeah.
Whether it's on themselves or just not being good enough at the time. It's all about having the persistence to stay with it and know that you're going to get more chances as we go forward. And with what they're showing so far, there's no reason why we wouldn't hear more out of Bpro, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because the only problem I would have with this team, if they start to perform better and better and better and they start to get eyes on them, some of the better players might get taken from that team. And that's where they never really progress. Because,
I mean, you had that being the case, obviously, Poison.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I believe Cirque was in this team as well, right?
Yeah, well, that was Outlaws with Rocking
Outlaws,
and so on.
you're right,
yes, that's going a couple of years further back. But there's definitely been a fair few of the same players that have come up with I guess now the more prolific Bulgarian players. So that's definitely a situation that could occur, but you don't want to, I guess, accept defeat before it's. Before it's arrived, right?
It's kind of like all the players just have to perform the best level they can anyway. Just to if it is just a team that kind of recycles talent or makes talent and gives them to the bigger teams, they have to perform to a better level and you have to improve to show they're worthy of that anyway.
Yeah. I mean, one way of stopping that from happening is obviously taking over the throne as the best team in your country.
Yeah.
So if all of a sudden you're the most attractive team for young talent to aim at, becoming a part of that team in the future, then you first have to topple Wendigo.
Yeah, well, they've just made changes as well, so we haven't really got to see too much of Wendigo and how this new roster is playing, because so there could be a potential there if it doesn't click as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, it's very true what you said. For any up-and-comer, you have to just give it your all at any given point, because if you're not going to perform, you're going to you're going to stay a middling team.
Yeah.
And if you do perform well, that's only going to lead to good things, even if it's with the current 5 that you're in, or because that leads to greener pastures for yourself. Yeah,
and it's also a sort of an interesting topic to talk about, because it's kind of like American sports. If we talk about these sort of college football teams, if they start to realize, we're only playing for scholarships, we're only playing for this, that's when they aren't really a team. They're just individuals trying to perform, and that's some of the problems that some of these younger teams can start to fall into as well.
Absolutely, because I mean, there's pretty evident that in any team you go through, whether it's well, somewhat established or completely new, there's always going to be one or two players who stands out from the crowd.
Yeah.
And it's very easy for them to get into a mindset that's thinking to themselves like, I don't really need to worry about what these 3 other people are doing because they're just a springboard for me to move on forward. But again, if you don't do your best to actually elevate their play as well, you might be stuck there for a while. And you might not make that jump that you were expecting, even though you might have the individual talent to do so, because you need to be a complete player to rise up the ranks to pro Counter-Strike.
Exactly, and you've seen that come in as well a lot. You see a lot of these really talented players, once they get their chance at a big team, they don't really perform too well.
Yeah,
and
it's a hard transition
quite a few times.
It's a really hard transition, and especially because the type of game you play in Tier 3 Counter-Strike, even into certain stages of Tier 2, very different from what you do against the very best teams in the world.
Yeah, I think a decent player we can sort of take as an example of that is Refresh, right?
Yep.
He was amazing on the Fragsters team. A lot of eyes on him. He's getting Get Right praising him. He went to Cloud9. He played well at that Blast tournament. He stood in for them. When he went to Optic and he wasn't really going to be the star of that team. He's just going to be a player within a professional team. That's when we started to see him sort of fizzle out a little bit.
Yeah, and now obviously we saw that earlier in the tournament. We're not sure if that's a permanent thing or not, but Cajun played with Optic in the initial games of this Invitational. So it's definitely a case where you need to be able to master multiple things and actually be able to versatile enough to function, as you said. Like if you're part of a system or if you're an individual player, you need to be able to do both. And I guess another player from Fragsters, Stavin, has kind of made that transition a whole lot better. Way
better. And the thing is, he kind of has, he can be the star. Everybody's talking about he's a star player. He has that skill to be a star player, but he has his ego is not strong enough for him to be only able to do that role, right? He accepts anything he's going to do, and that's why Heroic have had success.
Yeah, it's also because he's good at doing it as well. Being versatile, that's probably the most important trait you can have as a Counter-Strike player. That's why you see so many players get talked about in such a high regard, even though they might not be the one topping the scoreboard. Everybody talks about the glue guy in all kinds of teams, right? Whether it's professional sports or Counter-Strike, and you need those kind of players. Cajun was that for pretty much every Danish team for the longest of times. Sifnix is very much that guy for Astralis. Now you have those guys who you can't really let go of because they're so valuable in whatever they do, whether it's the small nitty-gritty stuff that doesn't show up on a scoreboard, or if it's at times clutching through and coming up with, I guess, getting to showcase your individual skill.
And Liquid have 5 players that are versatile at everything.
Yeah, so I mean, they have a bit of a luxury problem
like
in that sense.
They're like Transformers. They just change into everything. We need this role. I can do that. And it's definitely a winning recipe.
Yeah, and I mean, if you could just be the best at everything, that does help.
It does indeed. And Astralis are another team that are completely opposite to that, I would say, is the fact that they're just the best at their role as well.
Well, I mean, at times, I think, I wouldn't say a Device is the best opera in the world. I wouldn't say Dupree is the best entry fragger in the world. It's just on average they compete at it. Well, they're all just such good individuals that they're going to be able to vie for a top spot at any given time.
Indeed, but we are getting into this one. We heard a while ago that it was going to be a minute. So hopefully it is starting to get resolved pretty shortly because again, I'm starting to forget what's happened, Halvor.
I mean, to kind of give you guys at home a bit of an update, if you just tuned in and you're wondering why we're on the camera, it's because had a bit of a server crash at the score of 15-13, which is obviously a bit of an issue. Sprout making their way back from a 2-13 deficit on the CT side. So now making their comeback through getting T rounds. And we're just kind of waiting for Match Medic to come through and whatnot. But it's very much looking like we're going into OT with how this is all panning out.
Yeah, earlier, if you haven't really been watching, we did have Big taking on Hellraisers. And both teams look pretty shaky in their opening best of ones.
That's a fair way of putting it.
And then when we moved into the best of threes, didn't really improve.
No, it didn't do all that much, did it? But it allowed for entertaining Counter-Strike, even though it was a little bit shaky here and there. And we did see some promise out of Big in terms of how they just played out their defaults, how they could play not necessarily fast and furious, but structured T size over towards Overpass. Had a pretty good go of it. But yeah, there's always going to be ups and downs with fairly new lineups. As for Hellraisers, they've just been disappointing, I'd say. Seeming to have the online jitters. Because, again, if you go back to how they played in Montpellier, that was a much better showing of them. They were competing against some of the best teams in the world and doing pretty well for themselves. So it's a bit of a funky dynamic for them.
It is a pretty strange sort of thing within Counter-Strike is you can have these amazing teams on LAN, but when they go to online, they're completely different roster. Virtus.pro probably one of the most famous teams for that.
Absolutely. They were the ones to kind of create that that entire niche of
Virtus Premier, they were called because they had to fall beneath the Pro League.
Yeah, I mean, they constantly, get relegated from online leagues, but still win Premier events they're invited to. It's a whole thing. But yeah, some teams just are not able to kind of get that same kind of, I guess, engagement level once they play online. I mean, it's fair to say that Virtus.pro have kind of been through the ringer through so many years that online games are not going to be as exciting. For instance, if you're Bpro in this scenario, it's super exciting for you. You get to play in a tournament that's going to potentially lead to a qualifier or a spot in New York. You're going up against better teams than you've played ever before. So you're going to be super hyped about it. That's a highlight on your calendar for Virtus.pro to play online match number 9,000 instead of being on a stage in front of a wild crowd lifting trophies. Obviously, there's a bit of a shift in how you actually approach it, and that's just. I mean, people might call that unprofessional, but I think it's just a very human reaction to a situation. I think it's the same thing for pro sports as well. If you have preseason, you're not going to see Messi do the same kind of things he does in the Champions League finals or something to that effect.
It's just hard to have the mindset that why would I have to try this hard for this game? It's not worth as much as this tournament. And it's kind of, you get burnt out if you try and perform at that level all the time.
100%. It's not sustainable at all.
Yeah, so we see like Crims, I think, is a good example of that, right? He was trying to carry Fnatic through all the bad times. He did it for a while. He was just unbelievable. Even at this point, Crims can't do enough. And you've started to see that it started to take a hit on his individual performance recent tournaments.
Yeah, look at it for him, though. The Fnatic are looking to, well, at times, keep that in mind. There's not consistency around it, but they do have individuals starting to come up more and more. So I think
Roland's starting to hit his stride.
Super exciting. I think Twist, we're seeing more and more positive things out of him as well throughout the minor. So it's looking better and better, I suppose, for Fnatic as well. But it's a learning curve, and it's not going to be easy. Like I think people have too easy of a time to assume that pro teams are going to be infallible. They're going to be like Liquid. They're going to be like Astralis and just go on runs because why wouldn't you? You have the skill there, so why don't you just do that every game? But obviously, it is pretty difficult. Yeah,
we are just waiting for some more information coming through. Obviously, there's been some server issues if you are just tuning in again. And, well, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in the rest of this game. I think I'm starting to run out of topics to really talk about this Sprout game because...
We can go anywhere, though.
There was nothing on the CT side, Halvor. There was nothing.
Yeah, and we kind of covered that already. Well, I mean, we did that while Sprout were playing their CT side, and it's kind of a rinse-repeat for Bpro as well. And I think we've hit on the points where we need to see some adjustments on at least on the side of Bpro.
It's kind of like who can play worse is the way we're going to see this one end because
I mean, who makes the first slip up, right? Because right now it's the T sides are playing so well, so that's not where the issue lie. But if they have a round where somebody strays off, doesn't get a kill that they should be getting, that could be what spirals it out of control. But we're back, and to no surprise, Sprout did win that last round where everything fell apart. But now we see the final buy for Bpro. And we'll see, though, if this extended break has allowed them to kind of talk things through, if they've understood what the core of the issue is here on the CT side.
Yeah, because they needed that, right? They needed to try and figure out what's going on. And, well, this is their final chance to do it in regulation, to take this series 2-0 as they get right back into Nuke. It's going to be Siriusson, though, with the opening kill. And straight away, he's back towards Secret.
Yeah. Same procedure as every year for Sprout, or every round, I should say, for Sprout. They have made an early rotation with Raftu downstairs, and he's going to be peering into the vents because they know that Mirbit especially have been dropping down there quite often. Viltrex on rafters, as always. Actually, rafters on the railings, not actually inside vent. So still not very strong defense towards the lower end of the bomb site, but looks like Sprout have different ideas.
Mirbit and Keto, there's the headshots, and I think it's pretty safe to say this one will be overtime. Yeah. As Raftu and Denislaw are into a 2v5, and with the way Sprout are playing, we're most likely going to see that third map come through. This has been a great performance from the Germans coming right through here. And when they want to get it done, Denislaw will land the shot, but it's not enough for the kill. Raftu able to pick up one, but at this point, you've got to go for it. There's no way you cannot go for this. Denislaw will take a kill on the Mirbit, just finding frags. No chance to win it, though. And we are going to hit overtime.
Well, yeah, he's going to have to hit the defuse right about now. If he's going to win it out, and obviously he's nowhere near. Gets a couple of kills, but it's all gone. And again, we saw no adaptation from Bpro. No adaptation whatsoever.
Fathom did survive on 1 HP there.
Yeah.
If Denislaw went maybe a couple of seconds faster, he could have won that.
And also, I mean, if you would have seen some different positioning being used, you saw how confident Sprout were into peeking the angles. Rocking behind Vent, Veltrex playing on top of rafters. They knew exactly where to look because Bpro haven't really changed up anything about their CT setups.
Yeah.
You've had 2 rounds where they've played aggressively towards yard. That would have been great with the way Searson is playing. He's strafing across the entirety of yard without smokes right now. That's how confident he is.
Yeah, he's literally just running outside.
Yeah.
That's going to save so much utility as well if he can do that consistently with no answer. But Faven already towards the bottom of the vent. Again, that was a problem.
This is different, though. Why haven't they done this?
Why didn't they try this? Yeah, they've done it in overtime at least. Well, they're not expected it. Spitty will be the victim as he's been quite a few times on this map. But he sticks towards outside. It's a Molotov that'll actually take away that kill on the G-Toe. And there's a chance. But Searson, again, just confident enough to take the fight.
Yep. It's a pretty massive gap, though. Ooh, actually allowing Faven to find 1 kill. So trades go back and forth. But this is a better scenario and situation than Bpro found themselves in.
Oh, no way.
Viltrex.
Oh, that is horrible. That should have been a kill 100%, but that might just cost them the first round of overtime here. It was looking so good.
And that's such a big deal for the CT side as well. We're playing with 10k MR3, so winning the first round of CT kind of secures your economy for the rest of the OT half. Not as big of a deal if you're a T side. Bomb goes down. It's still 11 HP, but he's going to make his way into Hut. There is utility on the side of Raf too, though. He has a smoke, he has an HE and a flash. So he can work with this. Probably needs to pin the smoke. Oh, spots the leg. Not going to throw any utility, and that's going to make the job easy for Searson. Searson's climbed up the ladder now. He's on over 30 frags. Rearbit's not too far behind him either. 27 and 19. But that was a golden opportunity for Bpro to finally get a CT round. And I kind of just have to imagine that once Sprout gets over to the CT side again, they're going to be more prepared to deal with the aggression that we saw in fast-paced coming out from Bpro on their T side.
Wow, that's absolutely horrible if you're Bpro. I want them to keep that up, though. I want them to keep that aggression going because it was so... It worked. It's just a couple of fluff-ups in terms of aim fights, and, well, I think there's a server problem again. Is Sprout heading back over towards T-spawn and not having anything to do with this. So I think we got a little bit of a problem going on, it seems.
Yeah, a little bit of a pause, a lot of typing going on in chat, and majority of Sprout actually just hanging back. Oh, might be Denislaw, actually. Not typical to continuously run into a ladder like that.
Yeah. So it's not a server issue, it's just Denislaw issue.
Yeah. Hopefully that's quicker, well, easier to resolve.
Yeah, should be just a quick reset of the router and get right back into the game. I can confirm that it's not that time here in Kiev. It's currently 5 past midnight. It's been a long day.
Yeah, and it could very easily go further.
Much further. And it's looking likely that that will happen here.
We'll see. It needs a bit of a whole identity change from Bpro on their CT side if that's to happen.
Nice diagram of how a nuclear reactor works, I guess, here.
Hmm?
Very simple.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally do this now. Yeah.
Don't catch your hands in the moving machinery. It's pretty mental how sort of we've in life at the minute we're just so used to machines that do everything that a couple of years ago people literally had to risk their bodies making pots and pans and things like that, and you could lose your arm.
It's a pretty wild one. It seems like we've had a round timing out. We'll see how long it takes to get Denislaw back on.
Yeah, sounded like we just had a restart, so should be ready to go in a few moments.
Yeah. One thing that saddens me, though, obviously, as you said, we've reached past the point of midnight. I was planning to get a late night snack from a certain fast food chain, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. It's not possible.
They are closed, sadly.
They are. But we'll see if there's any way we can salvage that as we get moving on.
Maybe we'll We'll bribe them into opening for us.
Stand outside, knock on the windows, pretend to be a car through the through the drive-through.
Maybe we'll send we should have sent Hugo over. That could have been his role today.
Yeah, like get some use out of Hugo today. That would have been.
None of these mastered getting around Ukraine.
He's already learned his way back to the hotel.
Step 2.
Well, well, well. We'll see what comes of it. For the time being, though, just waiting for Denislav to get back into the swing of things.
Some of the talking points coming into this event are obviously will forwards be able to keep up that consistency. Well, they've done that, that's for sure. We get to see them in action tomorrow.
That's a good thing as well. I mean, they've been one of the more fun teams to keep an eye on for a fair bit of time, I think. I mean, they started off pretty well, winning Copenhagen games earlier.
Yep.
That's always been a good springboard for a lot of these Tier 3 teams. I mean, we saw what happened with Imperial, who later on became Valiance, now Crazy, again, qualified for a major.
Yep.
Obviously not exactly the same lineup, but a fair few of the players still sticking about there. So
some have went to some different rosters as well, and the talent is dispersed and enriching the scene.
Absolutely so.
But yeah, this Force team, I think this is probably the team I've casted the most in 2019.
Yeah, no, they've been around for a fair amount. That's there's no doubt about that. But
I think
there's a reason why, right? They're
exactly.
Improving day by day.
I seen a tweet from Peter from HLTV. Force attended the PLG Grand Slam event in Abu Dhabi.
Yep.
And they played against Fnatic in the semi-finals. And I'm really sad that that broadcasting goes to plan, because that would have been a great proving ground for Force to really show the world what they're made of, because they went through the group stages. They were beating some pretty good teams, and then they obviously had that semi-final game against Fnatic where they played them really close. They went to overtime. And, well, Fnatic ended up winning that tournament. So, Force definitely played very, very well. And they reached the top 30 at that event, and they consistently held it for months and months on end. I think they took a short dip out of the top 30, but they're right back into it.
Yeah.
But it looks like we're ready. Denislav, he is here.
He's made it back. We'll see if there's any sort of a comeback for the CT side of Bpro. 2 rounds is all they have to their name, and to be fair, that's all Sprout got as well. But we know overtime rounds can mean all that much more. And again, down the vents we go. It's not for free though, and speaking of, Raftu has gotten a bit of a nasty surprise from Searson, not hanging out. Ooh. Well, so you see the initial adaptations there with the quick man down stairs, but not going to be good for a kill. The rotation has come in, but it's still not enough to deal with Keto. He took 37, or went down to 37 HP early on. Well, and this has gone horribly wrong.
Well, Sprout have just been dominant on the T side affair. Will they just flop though as we move on to the CT of overtime? It's definitely a possibility. We've seen teams do that. We've seen teams just have a flawless showing on the T side and then just completely lose it out in the second. And that's where we have the double OTs, the triple OTs. That's when really close affairs come in, because neither team can actually win CT rounds. So it's going to be a charge towards onside from Sprout. They want to go straight towards Secret Stairs. They've abused Secret Stairs and Vents, and really Bpro have not adapted to that whatsoever. And they've sent players to the ramp room this time. They'll get info, but Denislav, he has to get the kill at least, and it's not going to come through. Seriously able to get that. And again, he's had an opening kill, and all 3 rounds of overtime is being played already.
Yeah. It's very accurate.
Another one for the P250. He's got an AWP in his hands, by the way. He hasn't used it. Hasn't needed to. And Bpro, yeah, I would say they probably mentally
checked out of this one.
Checked out of this one, yeah. Definitely.
Probably not voluntarily, but
you just can't keep it up. You've had such a great performance, you're on such a high, and then you just fall off the edge of a cliff.
Yep.
It's not a pretty sight when you fall off a cliff.
No, this is not the greatest sight either. This is going to go in the favor of Sprout most likely here. Searson posted up, easy kill for him onto Viltrex, and Sprout looking to have a flawless T-side here in the first half for low T.
Well, 32 kills on Dennis Law. He had a pretty good performance, but it started to drop off a bit himself. It's actually Searson who's the front man on the server in terms of kills. He's had some incredible openings that's brought Sprout to this point where they reach map point and they have 3 chances at gathering that. Bpro look for double overtime to stay alive here on Nuke, which is the map pick of Sprout. And as we move on to a third map, I think if we hit that third one, I think it should be a Sprout map, but I feel like it also could be a close affair again. I think a change in scenery from Bpro could even just reset them again.
A lot of it comes down to how well Bpro handled this, right?
Yeah.
They could just be completely disheartened, but how this played out, they had such a good opportunity of closing everything out. And now it's seemingly all gone, or wrong.
Well, man advantages there on the CT side. Finally, it looks like we might have a victor here on Nuke.
Eventually, we got to that point.
If Bpro can hold on, though, that will be a big step up as Dennis will take away Mirror, but missed shot from Sirius, and a little bit unorthodox to see that happen. And a Molotov will go in. So Bpro, they're on towards the B-bomb site. Rotations in. Keto goes towards him. It's the kill. Much better from the T side here. And Bpro, this is the side they were so good on, and they continue to do it. We'll see if Favin and Searson can somehow find a way back into this to break the hearts of Bpro, to give Sprout the win on Nuke, to put us that third map. At this point in overtime, the currency, the local currency becomes CT round wins.
Very much is. So Bpro are going to stay alive for now. And honestly, if I'm them, I want to see them go hunting because it's...
Yeah, 10k overtime.
Yeah. It's going to be mentioned over and over again. But with them actually being able to hold on to that, especially the op on Searson, that kind of gives them the same result for Sprout, where they stand a much better chance of actually being able to buy up for all 3 rounds if it goes that far.
Scary times ahead still for Bpro. Still looked pretty rough at the start of that run. They lost the opening pick. They had to fight back for it. We'll see if they can put 2 together here. They need 3 in a row just to get double overtime, and then they've got to do it all over again.
At least at that point, they get to start on the T side, which has been the one thing that's been working out.
Yep, they can build up sort of that positive momentum. Maybe just need 1 round win on the CT side. Hopefully they can do that. And will be a fast play from Viltrix, who's seen this over and over again in regulation. He's run right through it. That's going to be the kill. Spitty steps in, and while Spitty gets a second, that's something we didn't see in regulation.
Yeah, but this has all been a ruse. You can see the rest of the Bpro team has actually made it towards the lower bomb site. And forward position from Dennis Law. Ooh. So you get a dive on this.
Oh no.
Oh, it finds one. It's a smoke down as well.
He gets so much info as well off of that.
It's a lot of, yeah, pretty much one avenue into the bomb site for Sprout right now. Pretty tucked away here as well. Can Dennis Law find one more?
Oh, flash comes through. It's going to be Dennis Law hiding in the corner. Peeks out, gets 1, nearly the second as well, but Keto is there.
That's all he wants, though. Buying so much time. I mean, time's about to run out. They're not even close to the bomb yet. They're giving up on this.
Rocky, this is the time to hunt. You want to pull your knife, whatever.
Try to get closer, but... All right, you're still doing damage here, but again, Sprout doing good job of staying alive with a couple of members is going to keep them afloat. So, what are the odds of double OT here? That's such a brazen peek from Dennis Law.
He just goes around the corner. I mean, it's a peek that they probably wouldn't expect to happen with all the Molotovs close to him. I'm assuming this would be... Actually, it's hard to call whose polls this would be, because you've got different reasons for both teams that are certainly warranted.
Yep.
Bpro
wanting to calm themselves, knowing that they can still do this, and for Sprout, obviously, figuring out what's going wrong.
Or break the momentum as well, Bpro.
Yeah.
Let it settle, because those little
you know
dots can come back into your head.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's only been T rounds that have been won, it seems, today. I think that's the rule. The difference is for Bpro here, they've won off bomb plants, whereas Sprout on their T side won off elimination all 3 of the runs.
Yeah, that is very true. Sprout just kind of had their way with Bpro. Here it's a little bit more dicey, but I mean the end result is still the same so far. Or the same. Early nades go out. No connection yet. Susan actually takes a fair chunk of damage.
So their job done for Sprout. We move on to a third. It's Bpro that forces into double overtime. The last round of overtime, number 1. Bpro start to get towards secret stairs. The smokes are up. They go down already at the bottom of the stairs. Is the fast pace we know they love. They head towards the bottom of the stairs. Sirius will hold the cross. Couple of players from Bpro on their way towards the bottom bomb site. Speedy is here. He's rotated. And well, Bpro have actually slowed it down, and Rocking's got a kill on the Keto. They've got 2 players in the lower bomb site now for the CT side, and Rocking is still towards outside. So Bpro are taking their time with 50 seconds. They eventually will go, and Murbit's close. Do they expect him to be around this corner? They're using a lot of utility to check this, and there it is. The kill comes through. It's on Spitty to try and hold on as they start to pressure through the control room. Spitty's ready for it. He gets the first. He's still alive. He lights them up, but runs out of ammo. And there it is, a 4v2 coming right through, but Searson steps in with 2 kills added to his name, and it might just be the end here for Bpro.
We'll see though. Bomb's still not down. Dennis has, well, no clue as to what's going on right now. He wants to clear out the long passage of the lower bomb site, but they have, well, at least some freedom. They could go upstairs as well, and that's what they're going to do. This is going to be the right call. Faven still in a spot where he can be a bit of a nuisance. Bomb needs to go down quickly. Will go down as well.
It's planted. Faven coming back in through the hut. Dennis Law looking towards heaven position. Faven, if he gets the timing right, he might just spot a play with his back turned, and that would be horrible. There's the kill. And Dennis Law's on the floor, Rocking. It's on to you to save Bpro. 1v2.
Oh, he spotted the
Bomb's
back.
planted. He knows where he is. He knows he's in there. He'll wrap around. It has time to play with at this point. 15 seconds left. All he needs to do is delay. There's the first kill. He can run away. He has a real chance of picking this up. Searson's low. He needs to peek this. He needs to get the kill. Rocking knows he's off the bomb. The time's so low. And there it is. It's double overtime. Bpro still alive.
Still alive and kicking. Barely. Not anywhere near as convincing as the T side's coming out of Sprout, but it doesn't really matter, does it?
No CT runs yet again. Either side.
We've played 36 rounds of Counter-Strike on Nuke, and we have 4 CT rounds to show for it.
It is ridiculous. That is...
It can't keep up this way, surely.
Surely someone... Maybe it's Bpro. Maybe they will finally get it done here. Sprout's still the favorites, 1.53 to the 2.4 of Bpro here from your odds at GG.Bet. And Bpro certainly stand a chance of taking this one away, even though the odds are not in their favor. Bpro starting the T side, the one they're more favored on, the side they love more, but Searson's getting aggressive. He wants to change the pace here on the CT side.
He has Nerd 6 though, sneaking by. Could cause issues when Searson either wants to move forward or back. See how it pans out. Searson actually wants to get aggressive and he's about to die. That's a big kill for Bpro. Oh, and they don't get the return either. 6, stepping up big here at the very end of it. Had a great showing on Train. Now giving his team 2-minute advantage.
Oh, there goes Faven taking the kill. He will be dropped, and it will be a incredible advantage for the T side. Was keeper just down. Oh my god, that is awkward. He just runs right through the smoke, and well, he is spotted. That's when you think you're up against a wall or something.
That was like the flashbang of the century, because literally everyone was right there, but unfortunately Keto managed to flash the ever-living hell out of himself.
It's just, oh, that's brilliant.
Well, Bpro get to the start they want, and nobody saves on the side of Sprout this time as well, which is key. And Sprout needs to win this one to keep their economy in check. And another pause comes out. I feel like these teams are about to run out of timeouts.
Yeah.
Oh, well, well. And it's pretty incredible. We haven't seen anyone being able to figure it out. The big question mark that is this CT side. It's not one for the norm. see, though, how long this goes on for.
Scope in. Sirsen's going to be under a lot of pressure towards this ramp, and if you have any player on the Sprout side that's able to deal with this, it is this man. He has been playing very well for them. He's been the most valuable player for the Sprout side, and he needs to keep that up. Currently on 40 kills. Here comes the rest of the troops from Bpro. There should be at least one kill unless a flash comes in against Sirsen here. You'd hope they'd use the flashbang. And you'd hope he's patient enough. Here comes the push. Missed shot though, and that's going to be pressure putting onto him. Missed shot again, he's falling away. Couple of unorthodox missed shots, and he's under pressure, but he's still on the B-bomb site. Mirman tries to assist him. Rocky's going to hit the deck. First blood is there. Second is there as well. Spitty gets 2, and Sirsen's on the spot. There's the kills, and finally we get a CT round win. That might be enough to get the win on the board for Sprout.
It might just be. We'll see, though. It's one. It's more than we can say for any of the other OTs. This game just won't stop. That's also so important for Sprout. They avoid that horrible situation of being in a final round of an OT half and not being able to buy up fully. Sirsen in a position where he initially can spot above smokes that go down on top of the railing, but he's just gonna hide out for the time being. And this is not a position he's been using a whole lot. He's gonna net him a kill as well.
Well, Sirsen does get that frag, and it won't be a man advantage on the CT side. And Sirsen gets another. He's just hitting everything, and this is a complete stark contrast to what we've seen earlier on the CT side as Fab will get Viltrex. Kill comes in from Dennis Law, and while they're handling it well, Spitty stepping up as well. It's on to Rocking, 1v3, minute left on the clock, and Bpro, they're falling apart here.
They are. And Rocking's been able to win out a pretty unlikely 1v2 earlier in this game. If you go way, way back, he's going to have to step up his game, bring it up to a whole another level to win out this one. Bomb drop downstairs. Spitty peering in from the heavens. And Spitty's one of the players who's actually started to have a significant impact here once the T side got going. Keep in mind, he started the game, what, 0-16?
Yeah, that was, it might have been, yeah, 0-16 I think it was, which is kind of ridiculous, right? That he's been able to even come back from that mentally, so.
Yeah, and he's done it with a lot of damage as well. It's not just
he's had impact, yeah.
Yeah, he's 17 frags, so far 29 deaths, so you know he's positive from that point on, and also adding 11 assists to his name. So, coming alive here when it matters the most for Sprout. And now we need to see Bpro actually finding CT rounds.
Is that even a possibility?
In time will tell.
Molotov goes towards Sirsen. Good start. They keep him away. No one dies. So, step one to winning a CT run from Bpro. Many more to go. And while Dennis Law is positioned on the ramp, and certainly a good player, he can handle this as they come in towards him. Missed shot. Pressure starting to come in, so he has to run away. Molotov goes through. And while Sprout aren't going to chase him, they're going to take control of Heaven.
They just still have Viltrex on top of the rafters, though, so he's going to be ready for this. No flash comes up for Sprout either, and he's going to find one at the very least. There we go, doubling up. Spitty with the backstab, able to find 6 at the very least, but still man advantage for Bpro, and Sirsen's heavily tagged up from the beginning of the round. Bomb goes down. Ooh, surviving a headshot with 28 HP. Well, we've got a lot of work to do now, Sirsen.
And it won't happen for him. Dennis Law will take him away, and it's going to be 20-20. The game that keeps on giving, the game that just will never end, as they keep going forward. Both sides not wanting to give this one up.
Everybody's getting CT rounds now.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe we'll not see a T-round one after this. We've asked for a CT round win, but we've asked for too many, it seems.
Yep. Well, it all comes back to haunt us, but the game does continue. Bpro still needs to find one more at least to be safe. 2 more to win it.
The thing is as well, this has felt, they're only on the second map. This has felt like we've done an entire series.
Oh, absolutely.
The thing is we could have another one just like this.
Yeah, Mirage is still on the cards, very much so.
You won't be able to eat your midnight snack, but that's time the restaurant might be open again, Halvor.
I mean, I know the my choice of a culinary experience have opened up, so I've got an order in progress.
Perfect.
We'll see, though, what's in store and what's cooking for Sprout here. They've been able to make it out, and this is a bit of a new approach, not moving down towards Secret. They're actually going to go around Heaven. This is one thing that was completely absent for them throughout the entirety of T-side. And to be fair, they didn't really have an issue, well, winning with what they were doing. See if this is something that's going to be expected for Bpro. Wiltrix does not seem aware of this at all.
Well, Orby Spitty taking the kill. They've been able to get one, make it two. And, well, that's looking good for Sprout. Only trying to confirm themselves at least. Safety. As Raptor will get the kill. Dennis Law missed shot.
It's a big opportunity.
Cost him as Searson will take him away. One more player to find is Raptor. And Searson's got that. 21-20. Sprout at least confirm safety, but they might just need that extra one. And that'll take us to the third, which is Mirage.
So just looking to get the 50 frags here. Just won't stop.
That's pretty nuts.
That is pretty nuts, indeed. He was around 20 when we, no, 30 when we got into OT. So definitely doing a lot of heavy lifting here for the Sprout side. But still, Bpro not out of it. They won the first CT side round, so they're still going to go buy into this one. Probably not going to leave Secret or Yard open this time. And now they're actually going for the triple setup that we saw earlier.
Well, Keystone does take one kill. Mirabit able to get another. And this is still 4v3, still doable. The 6 is in behind. There's one. Can he get the second? The answer is no, as Searson is there. And he looks like he might have done enough for Sprout here, but we'll see if Bpro can come back into it. Molotov towards Heaven. That'll cut off that access point, and Keto knows there's a player in here. There's Denislaw. He's going to be the sticky fit.
Oh.
No! Denislaw reacts quick enough, and it's a 2v2. 30 seconds. Denislaw's on 13 HP, though.
2 smokes as well. They can get Searson off at this angle and...
Oh! Here we go. Maybe it's not just over yet, as Favid needs to pull off the 1v1. The time is low. Denislaw comes back in. This would be the quad kill, as Favid's behind on the spot. He jumps over the top. Denislaw knows where he is, but the spray is there, and it's done. Sprout will take us to a third map. It's a 22-20 final scoreline here on Nuke. And yes, Sprout end up winning their map pick, but not in the fashion they would have liked.
No, that was way too close for comfort if you're Sprout. So, yeah. Going into a third map of Mirage, I don't think we can say that anybody's favored to do anything at all, because this has been quite the roller coaster so far.
It has indeed, but without any further ado, I think we've had enough time here on Nuke. We're going to head over to Mirage after this short break, so make sure you stick with us.